We begin with a beautiful girl named Lola giving a sampling of wine to a restaurant owner. Lola works for a wine distribution company.
Mythos Wines was almost off my list.
She regretted the earlier incident and assured him she would personally manage his account. Hamish advised opening her own company because of how long she would work for an arrogant boss. After tasting her Hazel Vaughn wine, Hamish informed her that Hazel did not have a U.S. importer. Hamish promised to include it in all his restaurants if she secured a deal with renowned winemaker Hazel Vaughn. On her way to the office, Lola booked an appointment with Ms. Vaughn. Inside the office, her friend Audra told her boss is not in a good mood.
May I remind you this is a place of business.
Calder inquired about the new client, and Lola responded she nailed it. He compliments her work more than any other individual in the office and assigns her new task before leaving. Lola then receives a call from Ms. Vaughn's office informing her that Hazel is unavailable, but she may meet with her next month. Certainly, Audra becomes curious about it. Lola assured her that she would soon catch this lucrative fish. Later in the evening, Lola returned home, and her father, Carlos, invited her to join dinner with his pals. When they start questioning her about her relationships, she admits she got divorced 2 years ago.
Can't you guys just discuss my love life behind my back?
After dinner, Carlos proposes she begins a new relationship because she hasn't seen anybody since breaking up with Tyler. Carlos further says not every man is a liar. The following day, when she arrives at work, Lola is surprised to learn her closest friend, Audra, is presenting about Vaughn family wines. Calder loved the idea and instructed her to accompany him to Sydney for a sale pitch. If she nailed the client, probably promote her regional sales director. He adjourns the meeting to answer a call. Lola confronts him, alleging that she informed Audra about the Vaughn wines, and she should have gone to Sydney instead of Audra.
Well, that was your big mistake now, wasn't it?
Finally, Lola lost her cool and confronted him, declaring she had had enough of his arrogance and hypocrisy. So she resigned from her job. Lola subsequently established her firm, Salud Imports. Nevertheless, in order to grow the firm, she requires a large account. Lola pursues Vaughn's account and refuses to let it go without a fight. Lola discovers online Vaughn Wines has a cottage on Airbnb, so she decides to stay there as a tourist and finds the perfect opportunity to pitch her sales speech to Hazel. Being an empathetic and supportive father, he encouraged her to pursue her goals. Lola then traveled to Australia to acquire Vaughn Winery's account. She then steps inside the villa and begins looking about and praising its stunning architecture. Surprisingly, Lola runs into Max. He mockingly inquires about her search for a safe combination. He is delighted to show her the cottage and encourages her to take pictures and do whatever she pleases. But this does not disturb Hazel Vaughn. As she spotted Hazel approaching, she chose to do the exact opposite. She walked up to her without hesitation and pitched her company to Hazel Vaughn.
There is absolutely no way I'll go with a first-time importer.
Max then notified Hazel about their labor shortage. At that moment, Lola interrupts to announce she is available to undertake the task. Lola further says she came all this way to show Ms. Vaughn and can go the extra mile. After some resistance, she is ultimately given the opportunity to work.
If you pass muster at mustering, then we can talk wine.
Max is in charge of teaching her all she needs to know about regulations and jobs. Max briefed her on the drive to the farm about her job description, which included grunt work, hard yak, chores, and other duties. On the route to the farm, the truck broke down. While walking, Max gives her his own hat and warns her not to get her hopes up about the deal.
Thank you for the encouragement.
I'm just being practical.
Later in the evening, she set up her mobile office at the workers' camp and met her 3 roommates. After that, she short-circuited the system by using her charger.
That is just brilliant.
The following morning, the salesman assumed she was kidding when she requested additional coffee alternatives. Her roommate urged her to join them for breakfast, but she was unaware they were tricking her. She spilled her food on the ground and nearly suffered a heart attack. Shortly after, Max showed up and asked whether she was ready. Max began demonstrating how to bend the metal wire. She then started capturing sheep and giving them food, but she wasn't very good at it. Moreover, Lola failed to separate the sheep with red tags from the others. She also has given the name Barbara to her favorite sheep. Later, she noticed Hazel and started complimenting her on her stylish boots. Lola wanted to impress her, so she offered assistance in arranging unique wine for her since Hazel is fond of it, but she was not given the go-ahead. She then begins fencing while conversing with Max. He informed her station life is tough, and you can't wine and dine your problem. Lola claimed she never failed. As she walks toward the store, Max lifts her since a deadly brown snake is nearby, and they enjoy a brief moment of silence. That evening her roommates assigned her toilet cleaning duty. After that, she went to bed to doze off. The following day, Lola gets ready and heads to work. Max gives her a new task. While working, Lola spotted Max and Hazel going by. Lola approached her to talk with her. However, things don't go as planned, and Lola does something dumb that aggravates Hazel. She wasn't really left with much of an option except to leave Sydney. She asked Max to drive her to the city, and Max agreed. Unfortunately, the vehicle broke down again in the middle of the road. She stated during their stroll that Australia hated her, but Max had a unique perspective and quoted some encouraging phrases, refusing to give up.
It's not like you'll make your flight now, so just think on it overnight.
That night she couldn't sleep, so she read a book on Hazel Vaughn's family history, which inspired her not to quit. The following morning, Lola informed her roommates that she had resolved the hot water problem. As a result, they accepted her into their squad while presenting her new shoes and clothes. Lola then taught the salesman how to make filter coffee at the cafeteria. At the same time, while having breakfast, Max also gives her a cowboy hat.
You already knew I was staying?
Lola's former boss Calder is yelling at Audra because they are losing the present customer rather than adding more clients to the list. Lola covertly saw Max at work on the farm and was inspired by his John Rambo physique. He smiled at her. Max played guitar while sitting with the entire group that evening, and Lola sang a song. Her remarkable voice attracted everyone, and they began to sing along with her. Eventually, all of them had a great evening. The following day, Max tells her she will do sheep work in the shearing shed today. Lola is excited to hear that she has received the promotion. Max further says it is inappropriate to name and bond with the sheep. This sheep is scheduled to be next Sunday's dinner. However, Lola promises Barbara that nothing will happen to her. Max then escorts her to the shed, where Lola accomplishes her new task with the help of roommates. In LA, Audra visited Hamish and offered a good discount to get more business with him.
I'll wait for Lola to get back from Australia.
Australia?
That evening Lola tells her friends about her divorce while performing nail painting. While outside, she spots Max walking toward the villa and decides to follow him. Max is preparing to leap into Hazel's pool while sitting down. She accepts his invitation to dive into the pool. Hazel then arrives out of nowhere and smiles as she sees them. The following morning, Max invited Breeze to accompany him on a motorcycle trip. She claims she's extremely occupied and suggests he go with Lola.
Yeah, I'm not too sure motorbike's Lola's thing.
Lola pleasantly surprised him by demonstrating how she rode a bike. They then go on a riding adventure. Max is astounded and refers to her as a pro. While walking, Max tells her about his upbringing. After learning that his mother had cancer, he had spent more time stirring trouble around town than beside her hospital bed. He ultimately learned and grew into a great person, but it was too late. Lola informs Max that she does not want the Barbara taken away and begs him to spare her. Audra informs Calder that Lola is in Australia. Calder advised her to travel before she stole their account. Following that, Lola's cottage friends called her over for a drink and to celebrate Henry's birthday. They did drinking, danced, had great fun, and also winded up betting with a stranger on a dart game. On the other hand, it is made clear that Hazel is Max's sister, and she urges him to run the business rather than stay put in Australia.
I like it out on the land. It's peaceful.
Hazel further said she spotted him with Lola in the pool. She smiles in response to his positive assessment of her. A quarrel broke out among the spectators when the stranger was writing his inaccurate score on the board. The fight suddenly stopped as Lola whistled, and the owner threw all of them out of the bar. When Max arrives, he complains that they have caused a lot of trouble and damage tonight. Max apologizes and offers to pay him the money to set things right.
Thank this one and her whistle too. Saved most of me windows.
Lola asks Max what he thinks of her. Max discloses that he has something to tell her as he realizes how intoxicated she is. So he refrained from telling and escorted her home. The following morning, Max joined her at breakfast. Lola states that she is ashamed over last night, but Max says it's okay. He invites her to show her around the winery and camp out overnight. Lola enthusiastically agreed and went to pack her bag. She tastes the wine at the Vaughn family's winery. The employee also offers to open a costly wine, which would cost roughly $200, which she declines. She is still unaware that Max owns the company and is Hazel Vaughn's brother.
This place is giving me ideas.
That evening, Lola made branding designs to pitch Hazel about her business. Lola says Sibylla Vaughn is an inspiration to everyone. Every bottle must share her tale. Max agreed that it was a good idea and offered her the pricey bottle of wine she had requested to sample at the winery.
Just say cheers.
They indulge in alcohol, which leads to kisses, and end up having a romantic night. The following morning, Max finds the courage to introduce himself as Max Vaughn. Lola is taken aback when she hears this. Max further says he is a silent investor and that only Hazel and now her are aware of his truth. Unfortunately, he confessed to her a little too late. As they returned home, Breeze informed Hazel is expecting Lola. Lola is surprised to see Calder there. Calder tells her that he is rehiring her and promoting her to National Sales Director. However, Lola rejected the offer.
Sibylla Vaughn inspired me.
Lola gives Hazel a bottle of wine branded with a fresh marketing concept she developed the previous evening as a parting gift. Hazel then confronts Max over telling the truth to her a little too late. In the meantime, Audra apologizes to Lola for stabbing her in the back. Lola accepted her apologies and went to say goodbye to Barbara and her housemates before returning their possessions. When Max eventually showed up there, he chatted with her but held back on saying what was necessary.
I got nothing.
In the end, Lola went back to LA. After a few months, Lola is now effectively managing her business. Audra told Lola that Mythos and the Vaughn family had split up and asked Lola, "Have you ever tried calling Max?" Lola replied no. Later, Max unexpectedly shows up during the wine promotion. He says that Barbara is missing her back in Australia. Finally, Max apologizes and admits he has made a mistake by letting her go. Lola enthusiastically accepted his apology, and they kissed each other. Back in Australia, Lola's roommates get married, and everyone is happy and having a great time at a wedding ceremony. So that was a perfect pairing. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and turn on the notification so you won't miss the next recap. Until then, cheers!